All right, buckle up, everyone, because this deep dive is taking us straight to the heart of a T20 series that
Mm.
had underdog story written all over it.
Oh, absolutely.
Sri Lanka going head-to-head with the West Indies. And talk about a nail-biter of a final match.
Yeah.
You sent us a ton of articles, match commentary, all that good stuff, and we're here to do more than just give you the play-by-play. We're digging into the strategy, the surprises, the moments that made this series so captivating.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now, Sri Lanka's been making waves lately,
Yeah.
right? I mean, they've pulled off some pretty impressive wins against some big names in cricket. India in the ODIs, even a test victory against England. I mean, come on, that's huge.
It's been remarkable.
But let's be real, they've had these flashes of brilliance before, haven't they?
Yeah.
So the big question mark has always been, can they find consistency?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what makes this particular series win, especially against a team like the West Indies. So incredibly significant.
Yeah. Because you can't underestimate, I mean, the West Indies are practically synonymous with T20 cricket. They're expected to excel in this format.
Oh, absolutely.
So this was a series where the stakes were high for both teams.
And you can't talk about this series without addressing the elephant in the room, or should I say, the pitch itself.
Right.
That second match in Dambulla, it caused quite a stir, didn't it?
Oh, absolutely.
Rovman Powell, the West Indies captain, did not hold back his thoughts about that pitch, publicly questioning how spin-friendly it was, which, let's be honest, plays right into Sri Lanka's strengths.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the thing.
And that just injects this fascinating layer of tension as we head into the decider.
It does, yeah.
So here we are, the third match, everything on the line.
Yeah.
And what happens? The West Indies win the toss and elect to bat first.
Interesting.
On that pitch, I mean, I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah.
It was a bold move, to say the least. I mean, you've got to wonder what was going through their heads, right? Batting first on a pitch that had everyone talking about spin, it was certainly a choice.
That was a gamble, for sure.
And for a while, it really seemed like that gamble was going to backfire spectacularly.
Yeah.
The West Indies, they did not have a good start to the innings, to put it mildly.
5 down for 62 runs.
5 down. I mean, that's so hard to dig yourself out of, even in T20 cricket. At that point, honestly, it felt like Sri Lanka had one hand on that trophy.
Yeah, momentum was definitely on their side.
And then comes Gudakesh Modi.
Right.
Not a household name, maybe, but let me tell you, he had his moment in the sun, and he grabbed it with both hands.
3 sixes in an over. It was incredible.
3 sixes in and over. I mean, it was like someone just flipped a switch.
It shows you T20, it's anyone's game on the day. You can have these big names, but then someone like Modi comes in.
Exactly. And suddenly the whole complexion of the match changes. You cannot teach that kind of game-changing energy. And he finishes with, 32 runs off 15 balls.
Unbelievable hitting.
Just incredible. Talk about taking your chance. It really highlights how, in this format of the game, any player can step up and become a match winner.
Absolutely.
But hold on a second, because Sri Lanka's tactics during all of this, I have to admit, had me a little perplexed.
Oh, yeah.
Holding back their fastest bowler, Matisha Patharana, for a significant portion of the innings. What was that about? Was that a risk that was a little too big?
Well, it's that classic high-risk, high-reward situation. I mean, imagine if the West Indies had really capitalized on those middle overs. If someone like Pollard was still at the crease when Patharana came on,
Right.
it could have been a completely different ball game.
It did feel like Sri Lanka were putting a lot of faith in their spinners to do the damage, which, given the pitch and, the West Indies struggles early on, wasn't totally unreasonable.
It made sense to some extent, yeah.
But still, you know me. I like a bit of nail-biting tension.
Yeah.
And they definitely provided that. But, all's well that ends well, right? Fortune favors the bold. And in this case, it paid off for Sri Lanka.
Yeah, they got away with it.
And so we get to the chase. 163 to win. On the face of it, not an impossible target, but after the twists and turns we'd already witnessed, honestly, anything felt possible at that point.
Yeah, the momentum had shifted a couple of times already.
Exactly. And, for me, the most impressive thing wasn't just that Sri Lanka chased down that total. It was the way they did it. It was clinical. Controlled, exactly. Right from the get-go, Pathum Nissanka and Kusal Mendis, that opening partnership, they were something else.
Yeah, real statement.
It was like a masterclass in controlled aggression,
Oh, absolutely.
Nissanka especially. I mean, he came out swinging 39 runs off 22 balls. The West Indies bowlers, They barely had a chance to settle.
He was on fire. And I think what that kind of start does, it's not just about the runs on the board, it's psychological, you know?
Yeah.
It puts so much pressure on the fielding side, and it gave the rest of that Sri Lankan batting lineup so much freedom to play their shots.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of playing their shots, can we talk about Kusal Mendis for a moment?
Please, another 50.
His second of the series. Whenever he's at the crease, it's like he's operating on a different level. The timing, the placement, those boundaries, he makes them look effortless.
It's class. Pure class.
He really is a player that thrives under pressure. And I think this series, it's really cemented his importance in this Sri Lankan resurgence.
Definitely, he's not just scoring runs, he's consistently performing when it matters most.
Exactly. And I have to say, once they'd raced to 60 runs in those first 6 overs, it's like you could feel the energy shift. That air went out of the West Indies challenge, I think.
Yeah, the wind was out of their sails.
It was almost, dare I say, a little anticlimactic.
It was.
Those final overs, there wasn't that edge-of-your-seat drama because Sri Lanka they were in control.
In the driver's seat.
They had it handled. And so we get to the final scorecard, and it's not just a win for Sri Lanka. It's a historic win. Their first ever bilateral T20 series victory against the West Indies.
Yeah, a huge achievement.
On home soil. They answered those questions about consistency, silenced some doubters, I'm sure. And maybe, just maybe, they've stumbled onto a more permanent coaching setup with Saneth Jayasuriya at the helm. Who knows?
It's going to be interesting to see what happens there.
It really is.
Yeah.
But what a performance. What a series. This Sri Lankan team, they're playing with this fire, this confidence that we haven't seen from them in years, I think. It's exciting.
It really is.
But the big question is, can they take this momentum, this form, and replicate it on the international stage? Can they do it away from home? I guess we'll have to wait and see. That's the beauty of sport, isn't it? But for now, Sri Lanka, they're the team to watch, that's for sure.
Without a doubt.